Have you ever felt something stirring deep within you? A subtle yet persistent feeling that something is changing. That familiar routines suddenly feel different, or that you're seeing the world through new eyes? If you're nodding right now, you might be experiencing what many call a spiritual awakening. Stay with me, because today we're exploring 9 profound signs that could illuminate why you're feeling this way. You see, awakening isn't always about dramatic revelations or lightning bolt moments. Sometimes it's those quiet whispers of change that signal the beginning of your most meaningful transformation. I remember working with Sarah, a successful corporate executive who couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. "I have everything I thought I wanted," she told me, "but lately, I find myself pausing in the middle of meetings, wondering if there's something more." That persistent questioning, that's often how it begins. But here is what's fascinating. This feeling of being slightly out of step with your old life isn't a sign that something's wrong. Instead, it's often the first indicator that you're awakening to a deeper truth about yourself and your place in the world. Think of it as your soul's gentle nudge, asking you to pay attention to something beyond the surface of daily life. One of the most compelling signs of this awakening process is the emergence of a stronger inner voice, an intuition that becomes increasingly difficult to ignore. Have you noticed yourself just knowing things without logical explanation? Maybe you've had moments where you felt strongly pulled toward or away from certain decisions, even when they seemed perfectly reasonable on paper. I think of James, a teacher who suddenly felt an inexplicable urge to change careers. Everyone thought he was crazy to leave his stable position, but that inner knowing wouldn't let go. Later, he discovered his true calling in art therapy, where he now helps others heal through creative expression. As Carl Jung once observed, this kind of intuitive knowing often emerges from our deeper connection to what he called the collective unconscious, a vast reservoir of wisdom that we can access during times of transformation. Along with this heightened intuition, you might notice yourself becoming more sensitive to the emotions and energy of others. Perhaps you found yourself deeply moved by stories that wouldn't have affected you before, or you're picking up on subtle undercurrents in conversations that you previously missed. This increasing empathy isn't weakness. It's actually a sign of your heart opening to a broader understanding of our shared human experience. I witnessed this transformation in Maria, who started noticing how deeply she could feel her friends' joys and sorrows. At first it overwhelmed her, but through practices like loving kindness meditation, she learned to channel this sensitivity into meaningful connections with others. "It's like I finally understand what it means to truly listen," she shared, "not just with my ears, but with my whole being." If you're resonating with any of these signs, take a moment to reflect on your own journey. Have you noticed similar shifts in your awareness? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your story might be exactly what another seeker needs to hear right now. And as we continue this exploration, you'll discover even more signs that might explain the changes you're experiencing. These aren't just random occurrences, they're part of a meaningful pattern that's guiding you toward a more authentic and purposeful life. Stay with me as we delve deeper into these transformative signs, because understanding them could be the key to embracing your own awakening journey. One of the most fascinating aspects of spiritual awakening is the appearance of synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that feel like more than just chance. You might notice repeated numbers, encounter the same symbols, or meet exactly the right person at precisely the right moment. Jung called these synchronicities a causal connecting principles, suggesting that our inner states can manifest in our outer reality in remarkable ways. Take David's story, for instance. During a period of intense questioning about his life's direction, he kept encountering butterflies in the most unlikely places. These encounters weren't just random. They spoke to his own process of transformation, reminding him that change, like metamorphosis, is a natural part of growth. As your awakening deepens, you might notice a profound shift in what truly matters to you. Activities or goals that once seemed crucial might start to feel hollow, while simple moments of connection or quiet reflection become increasingly precious. It's like being given a new pair of glasses that lets you see life's priorities with crystal clarity. I remember working with Lisa, a high-powered attorney who had always defined success through her career achievements. As her awakening progressed, She found herself drawn to spending more time in nature and deepening her relationships. "It's not that I stopped caring about my work," she explained, "but I realized there was a whole dimension of life I had been missing. This reprioritization isn't about abandoning your responsibilities. It's about aligning your outer life with your inner truth." And speaking of alignment, have you noticed yourself developing an unexpected ability to remain calm in situations? This growing sense of inner stillness, even amid external chaos, is another powerful sign of awakening. Through regular meditation or simply paying attention to your breath, you might find yourself accessing a peaceful core that remains steady regardless of what's happening around you. Think about times when you've faced challenging situations recently. Did you notice a new capacity to respond rather than react? To observe your emotions without being overwhelmed by them? This isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about finding that quiet center within yourself, where wisdom and peace naturally reside. Before we continue exploring these signs, take a moment to hit the like button if you're finding value in this discussion. Your engagement helps this message reach others who might be experiencing similar transformations. Now let's talk about one of the more challenging aspects of awakening: the moment when we begin to face our shadow self. You know, those uncomfortable emotions or patterns that suddenly seem impossible to ignore. That's not regression, it's actually progress. When we start to awaken, we often become more aware of the parts of ourselves we've tried to hide or deny. Consider Thomas, who found himself suddenly confronting buried anger during his meditation practice. Instead of pushing it away, he began journaling about these emotions, gradually understanding their roots in old wounds. Through this process, he discovered that acknowledging his shadow wasn't about dwelling in darkness. It was about bringing light to every part of himself, creating space for deep healing and self-acceptance. This inner work naturally leads many to develop a consistent spiritual practice. Maybe you felt drawn to meditation, yoga, or spending time in nature. Perhaps you've started journaling or found yourself creating spiritual rituals that feel uniquely your own. These aren't random urges. They're your soul's way of creating structure for your continued growth. I think of Elena, who began with just 5 minutes of morning meditation. Those 5 minutes gradually expanded into a rich morning routine of reflection, movement, and gratitude practice. "It's not about forcing myself to be spiritual," she shared. "These practices just feel like coming home to myself." But perhaps the most profound sign of awakening is developing a new relationship with uncertainty. Rather than feeling anxious about not knowing what's next, you might notice yourself becoming more comfortable with life's mysteries. There's a growing trust in the unfolding of your path, even when you can't see the whole journey ahead. Remember that executive I mentioned earlier, Sarah? She eventually left her corporate position to start a wellness center. "The old me would have needed every detail planned out," she reflected. "But something deeper was guiding me. I learned to trust the guidance even when it didn't make logical sense." This journey of awakening isn't about reaching a final destination. It's about embracing a continuous unfolding of who you truly are. Each sign we've explored today is like a breadcrumb on the path, guiding you toward your authentic self. Whether you're experiencing one of these signs or all of them, know that you're not alone in this transformation. If this video has resonated with you, please share it with others who might be experiencing their own awakening journey. Subscribe to join our community of seekers, and let me know in the comments which of these signs you've noticed in your own life. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to understand their own path. Remember, awakening isn't about becoming someone new. Trust the journey, embrace the uncertainty, and know that each step, even the challenging ones, is leading you toward a more authentic and meaningful life. Thank you for sharing this exploration with me. Until next time, keep listening to those whispers of transformation. They're guiding you home to yourself.